Okay. So I want to start off with a question, right? Um, and just simply put asking, is it enough to just know what is about to happen to be saved?
No. Say it again.
Is it enough for us to just know what is it about to happen to be saved?
Absolutely not.
Right. It's not. What does it take for a what is it going to take?
Taking what we know and putting not necessarily putting all of the things that you know, but taking the information and applying it to what you know and what should change your life and change the way that you live, the way that you think, the way that you operate. And it should be, that thing that we know, or this information that God has blessed us with, should be the number one priority in our lives in terms of the priority or the things that we set in front of it or behind it, and then the number one thing we should be sharing with people.
Right. So like even like and that's 100% bro what you just said. Even like as I was thinking about like with boxers, right? It's not enough to know how your opponent boxes to win the match. What matters is not only do you know how he boxes, but the also what you do with the information of knowing how he boxes. And so, in that same sense of us, when it comes to believers, it's not enough for our salvation that we just know God's ways and his character, but it's how we treat the information per se, right? And so,
I get
what I
that.
want to do is I want to go over a couple of stories of just showing that just knowing ain't enough. And I want to start in Genesis 4. I just want to go straight to Cain and Abel, right? It's a familiar story. So Genesis 4, we just gonna do 1 through 7. And I just want to show like having the knowledge is not just enough. So if anybody want to read, you can, unless you guys just like to hear my voice all day, which is, perfectly fine with me.
I can read if you want.
Yes, please, Mama Sue.
You said
I,
Genesis 4, what verse, bro?
I'm going 1 through 7.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. I'll try
Adam
to talk
made,
along.
oh, go.
No, I'm sorry, fam. Go ahead, Mama Sue.
Adam made love to his wife Eve, and she became pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She said, with the help of the Lord, I have brought forth a man. Later, she gave birth to his brother Abel. Now, Abel kept flocks, and Cain worked the soil. In the course of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering to the Lord. And Abel also brought an offering, fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but on Cain and his offering, he did not look with favor. So Cain was very angry, and his face was downcast. Then the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it.
So we see two sides, right? We see Abel who let's let me back up. In verse 7, I like this the way that it's put. How the Lord just after 6 when he's asking him, why are you angry? Why is your face? Why are your face, are you so upset? Why is it downcast? And here it said, and right in 7, he says, if you do what is right, will you not be accepted? He's asking this and saying this as if Cain already knew what was right and what was to be and what was acceptable. Did anybody else get that?
Yep.
But it's not just about knowing. It's about how you care for it. It's about the response to the knowledge. So here it is, they both have an assignment, and one does it with the fullness and the love. You see Abel bring the fat offering, the fat portions from the firstborn, the best of the best. The best, the firstborn without blemish, bringing the fat portions of the firstborn of his flock. So he knows, not only does he have the knowledge of what's acceptable, he's going to great lengths and taking care of not only what he knows, but he's not only doing that, he's taking it further. It's showing the care that he has for the information that he has, what is acceptable to the Lord. But here it is, just knowing ain't enough because Cain knew. But here it is, he's not. Look how he treats the knowledge. He's just going to bring some. He knows what's the acceptable thing to bring. He knows what's the acceptable thing to do. But yet, here it is, he's bringing the some, not the best of the best, some. And so we have this position of us as believers and knowing God's character. We have to ask ourselves, are we bringing how are we treating the knowledge of God's character? How are we treating the knowledge of who he is? How are we treating this? Are we living a life that is presentable to the Lord, that's giving the best of the best? I'm giving the best effort. I'm treating this I'm going as hard as I can. Everything that you are, every bit of wisdom that he's given me, every bit of knowledge, I'm taking care of that, and I'm showing it not just in my words, but how I'm actually living. Or am I doing the same thing that Cain did, and I'm treating the information with lack of care? Like, because the information that we know and what God is calling us to do is very important, would you say? Like, it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is very important, then we need to treat it with care. Just as simply put. Go ahead, Mama Sue.
Yes, he knows the intentions behind what we do. So he knew the intention behind Cain and the intention behind Abel's offerings.
Mm-hmm. So before we move on, I want to read one thing because it's very important about how you're treated. Go ahead, Deidre.
No, I know. If I'm not mistaken, I think Jennifer kind of talked to the kids about this last week about the difference between like knowledge and wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that information and implementing that information in the proper ways is that fine line between knowledge and wisdom. Like, are you going to do the right thing? Are you doing the wrong thing because you don't know or because you don't care? Or like at work, we call it will versus skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing those things you know that you're supposed to do a certain way and making sure that you do it that way to ensure that it's done right the first time.
Very much so. And I like the way that you put it, like making sure that you're doing it right the first time. Because it's such a important task of what he's calling us to do, right? We know that he's calling us to be a light. And that is very, very important. Like that is so important because we are to be the example, the light that attracts to pull people in. That is the purpose of the light, to give the people an example of what his character is and who he is, because he desires that no one perish. And he wants to give everybody a chance and an opportunity to choose him, because he will not force himself on no one. So it's very important that we operate and that we move in his character, so that we can be that guidance, that we can be that light that's showing to the world his character versus the standard of which the world is living by. So it's very important, and having the knowledge of that character is not enough, because we know the enemy even has this knowledge, but does he submit to it? So it's I want to I want to go and read Luke. This is Luke 12. I want to say, yeah, Luke 12, and I'm going to read 46 through 48. Actually, if someone wants to read, could you read that for me? Luke 12, verses 46 through 48.
I got
Thank you, sis.
it. It says, the master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with unbelievers. The servant who knows the master's will and does not get ready or does not do what the master wants will be beaten with many blows. But the one who does not know and does things deserving punishment will be beaten with few blows. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked.
You see why it's so important of how we care, how we are careful with the things that we know, because of what's expected. Because not only do you have the knowledge of his character, but you also, with the knowledge that he gives us, also comes instruction. So with that, we can see it like, let's go to Genesis 6, because with knowledge comes instructions with it. When he gives the knowledge of what is about to happen, he gives instruction. So it's not just for you just to, so having the knowledge is just not enough. Just holding that knowledge in and just knowing that what is about to come is just not enough. But how you are treating, how you are preparing, how are you caring for that knowledge, if I'm making sense. Like, so we can go to Genesis 6 and just 11 through 18, if anybody can.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you,
Now,
Moussa.
now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood, make rooms in it, and coat it with pitch inside and out. This is how you are to build it. The ark is to be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. Make a roof for it, leaving below the roof an opening 1 cubit high all around. Put a door in the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has the breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons, and your wife and your sons' wives with you.
So was it just enough for Noah to know that a flood was coming? Was the knowledge of the flood coming just enough for Noah to be saved?
No.
What did it take for him to be saved?
Follow the
To follow the
instruction.
instruction.
Yeah, thank you. Everybody is on it to follow the instructions. He had to these carefully detailed instructions he had to follow. The certain wood said, make for yourself an ark of cypress wood. So now you have these intricate, detailed instructions on how to follow, and he had to every day consider it. Every day, how he treated the instruction on top of the knowledge mattered. Because and on top of that, he gave him a clear deadline. So it's not just having the knowledge, it's how you treat the knowledge. How are you treating the instruction? All of these things matter. It's very important for how we are as believers in this walk. Not just the knowledge of who God is, but how are we treating the knowledge? Are we living a presentable? Are we living so that at the end of it, it is presentable? Have we given them the best of the best, my best effort? I've given the able offering of your life, the best of the best? Or will we be like Cain? And will it be a sometime, give you a little bit of effort, give you subpar effort, even though I know your intricate details? So I want to go over to Jeremiah 27. And I just want to keep showing with God's instruction, with God's knowledge of what is to come, he gives instruction. And this is uh Jeremiah. Excuse me, I'm flustered. I just realized I did something wrong. But this is Jeremiah speaking to the people of Israel. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, I was just gonna ask what verse. I was walking into the house and I missed it.
Oh, Jeremiah 27 and verses 1 through 12. And it says, in the early reign of Zedekiah, son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord. This is what the Lord said to me. Make a yoke out of straps and a crossbar and put it on your neck. Then send word to the kings of Edom, Moab, Ammon, Tyre, and Sidon through the envoys who have come to Jerusalem to Zedekiah, king of Judah. Give them a message for their masters and say, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel says. Tell this to your masters. With my great power and outstretched arm, I made the earth and its people and all the animals that are on it, and I give it to anyone I please. Now I will give all of your countries into the hands of my servant Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. I will make even the wild animals subject to him. All the nations will serve him and his son and his grandson until the time for his land comes. Then many nations and great kings will subject him. If, however, any nation or if, however, any nation or kingdom will not serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, or bow its neck under his yoke, I will punish that nation with the sword, famine, and plague, declares the Lord, until I destroy it by my hand, by his hands. So do not listen to your prophets, your diviners, your interpreters of dreams, your mediums, or your sorcerers who tell you you will not serve the king of Babylon. They prophesy lies to you that will only serve to remove you far from your lands. I will banish you and you will perish. But if any nation will bow its neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon and serve him, I will let that nation remain in its own land to till it and to live there, declares the Lord. I gave the same message to Zedekiah, king of Judah. I said, bow your neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon, serve him and his people, and you will live. So not only just knowing that the destruction was on the way, not only did the Lord send the knowledge of the destruction that was on the way, but he sent clear instructions and even a deadline. But it's will you submit to it? How do you hold on to it? How do you care for it? Do you let it go in one ear and out the other and go and do your own thing? Or do you be obedient to follow the intricate things that he is telling you to do? It's not enough just to know what's to happen, because not only does he tell you what's about to happen, but he gives you clear instructions. So I want to go back because I jumped over something that I really wanted to share. And that's in Matthew 25. And I wanted to go over this parable of the 10 virgins. And just gonna do 1 through 13. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. Can somebody grab that for me?
Got you, bro.
Thank you.
Now that I am stationary.
Thank
You said 1 through
you.
13?
Yes, 25, 1 through 13.
All right. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars and along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish one said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, our lamps are going out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourself." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Lord, Lord," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "Truly I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour."
So was the knowledge of the bridegroom coming, was that enough for them?
No.
For 5 of them, it was.
Because how serious did they take the knowledge?
They wanted to make sure they were prepared.
Like they took it serious. Like you said, since they wanted to make sure that they were prepared, just in case, do everything that I need to do in preparation, not just being okay with the knowledge of knowing that the bridegroom is coming. Like it takes more than just having the knowledge. And I want to read one more. Sis, do you mind reading again?
No, I don't mind.
Can we go? I know this is gonna be a little bit longer. Can we go 14 through 30? We in the same one.
The parable of the bags of gold. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one, he gave 5 bags of gold, to another, 2 bags, and to another, 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 bags more. So also the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. 22. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Thank you, sis. Was it what did each one of the servants know?
That he was going to be coming back at some point.
Yeah, that a
That
return investment would be needed. Like he was
that
like yeah, he didn't he's like if you knew this information, then why didn't you do it?
so they knew that a return investment was needed, that he was going to be coming back. They also knew how he was. They knew his character. They knew his ways. But 2 of them took it serious. And 1 person decided to be foolish. So as I was looking at this, I also went to go look up in how much was a talent of gold. And I came up with as I was researching, I saw 2 things, and it was one described it as being 3,000 shekels of gold, and another one went and said that it was 75 pounds. So in this parable, even the one that was entrusted with 1, it has it's 75, approximately 75 pounds of gold. So it's like 75 to 120 or 125 pounds. That's how much a 1 talent is of gold, and it's solid. It's solid gold brick, right? You know how we see those solid gold bars nowadays. Imagine that. Go ahead, Stead. You got something?
You good, bro? You good?
Okay. And as I was looking at it, I was like, as the master is entrusting them with this, it not only has a physical heaviness, but it also has a metaphorical heaviness with the knowledge that he's given them and the things that he is entrusting them with. And not only that, it has a value to it that is worth so much. 75 pounds of gold today, even 75 pounds of gold then is a lot. Like, so it's valuable, and it's a heaviness that comes with the responsibility. And then it's about how are you managing the knowledge that he is given? Are you being foolish with the knowledge and the wisdom, and you just storing it for, you just burying it, going about living your own, not caring about what is about to happen, not caring about nobody else. It's just about you. Or are we being wise, knowing our master's character, knowing our master's ways, and knowing our master is about to return? These things are all important, and we know that just having the knowledge is not enough. Just having the knowledge ain't enough. But how do we care for, how do we treat the instruction that comes with the knowledge? How are we, that's the important part. That's the important part. Because just having the knowledge and just keeping it for self, just having the knowledge and just knowing who he is not enough. Like we said, we know the enemy even knows who God is. He knows his character, he knows his ways. But how are we as believers? How are we treating that information? Go ahead, DJ.
I was thinking, with what you were saying about having the knowledge and not just keeping it to yourself, to ourselves. It still kind of, in my mind, so correct me if I'm wrong, it still kind of goes in line with what our duty is anyway, which is to disciple and bring people into the fold and share the good news. You can't effectively be doing what, God asks us to do if you're keeping it to yourself anyway.
Yeah, no, you right on. That's the whole purpose of being a light. You can't, hold on, let me find the scripture that says it. Because it said like no one has a light and goes and hides it or covers it. And like it's for those that are lost. That is very important. Give me 1 second. Okay, it's 16.
Thank you for calling Medi-Cal. My name is Chantel. ID numbers 21.
And it's Luke 8 and it's 16. It's Luke 8 and verses 16. And it says, no one lights a lamp and hides it in a clay jar or puts it under the bed, but instead, or puts it under a bed. Instead, they put it on a stand so that those who come in can see the light. For there is nothing that there is nothing that will not be disclosed and nothing not concealed that would not be known or brought into the open. Like the purpose of being a light, the purpose in showing this character is like you said, it's for others. It's to be the example. Is to show the world his character and his ways. Like that is our job. We know our master is very important. That is the talent, the unique way in which you show it. And it is your job not to bury it. It is your job to be on point, to show the care. You want to be able to have that able, presentable offering, and not the same offering as Cain, the same offering as the five foolish, who just knew and treated it with lack of care. Like, it's no point in Can you say that out loud, sis?
Leave me alone. I said it's like in black households where you leave the oven above the stove on, so nobody's walking into that dark kitchen.
Yo. So you know the way in which you going, like even though it's a joke, no, it's like, yeah, it's the same point. That light is for guidance, like the example. You're supposed to be the example, and just how we caring for it is all the purpose. Because not just knowing ain't enough. And as you continually walk, as you continually submit to that will, as you continually follow those instructions, those intricate, specific instructions, you begin to develop the master's heart. You begin to develop the master's, like, you become just like him. That's the importance of the instruction that comes with the knowledge, so that you can develop and you can become. And as you're developing and as you're getting his heart, you begin to move like him and operate like him, and you begin to, now you are being that light that is bright, that is shining bright, that becomes separate, because his ways are separate, his ways is holy, which is separate. It looks different. It looks different than what in each in each societal norm and whatever section of the Bible, even to now, we following his ways always stands out. Following his ways always stands out. Because it has always been either you are following the Holy Spirit or you are following flesh, since sin has stepped on the scene. So it's very important for us who call ourselves believers, who says that this is our master, that we operate with the care, because with the knowledge of who he has given us clear instructions on how we are to walk day by day. It's given us clear instructions on what is to come. And every choice that we are making, everything that we are doing, is either letting him know that we care about the knowledge that he has given us, or that we care more about self. That's what I got, fam. Floor is open for anybody. And no questions? No.